The women of Ted Bundy. Diane Edward met Ted Bundy in 1969. Ted refers to her as his first love. While attending the University of Puget Sound, she broke his heart when she dumped him. They dated for about a year. She is also said to be the basis of why Ted chose the women that he chose to murder. They're supposed to have been based off of her. This crushed Ted because she was everything he wanted and everything he wasn't. He dropped out of college and moved away. She was more than just his first love. She took his virginity. Ted began to change his life and became the man she wanted, only while dating someone else, to rekindle their relationship 4 years later and become engaged and ghost her. I think she dodged a bullet. Elizabeth Kofer, also known as Liz Kendall, began dating Bundy in 1969, and they were together for several years. She had no idea the darkness that he kept from her, or the fact that he would leave her at night to go on so-called walks alone to watch women because he was a peeping Tom. Sickening. Even though she loved Ted and wanted to marry him, when the news about the murders and the person who committed them was possibly named Ted and drove a brown Volkswagen, she still suspected him. And I know that broke her heart. She contacted the police and told them of her suspicion. They told her it wasn't him and that they looked into him and he didn't fit the profile. She even gave them pictures of him to use to ask the possible victim if he recognized him. She said he was too old. She even reached out to her father and asked him to call because it may be taken seriously coming from a man. Her father told her no, and it would ruin Ted's life. The audacity to think about his life over the victim's. Can you imagine how she felt about seeing the news, seeing his car, knowing that his name was Ted, and that he could possibly be the cause of these young ladies' murder? Only to find out later, through his own confessions, that he used her fireplace to get rid of evidence. She opened her entire life to this psychopath. She questioned everything about herself and her life. He used her for years, and the only thing he gave her was years of pain and a broken heart. She trusted him with her most prized possession and the most important thing in her life, her daughter. And you know how he repaid her? One day they were playing hide and seek, and he decided to hide under some cover. So when she pulled back the cover, she found him naked. And she said, "Why are you naked?" And he said, "Because I am invisible. But if I still had my clothes on, you would be able to see me." And this woman carried that message with her. And when she did an interview, her and her mother, she spoke upon this, that this was the type of man that was with her mom, whom her mom adored. Even though Liz and her daughter survived, they are still victims of Ted Bundy.
In my own mind, there were similarities or coincidences that seemed to tie him in, but yet when I would think about our day-to-day relationship, there was nothing there that would lead me to think that he was a violent man capable of doing something like that. And that's the split that I think had everybody baffled.
This unknown young lady is Leslie Cudson. She started dating serial killer Ted Bundy during the summer of 1975 while still dating Liz. He was a murderer, a cheater, and used everyone around him. Last but certainly not least, his number one groupie, his biggest supporter, wife and mother of his child, Miss Carol Boone Bundy, even though she never took his last name. Carol Ann Boone met Ted Bundy in 1974 for the first time right after divorcing her second husband. They worked together at the Department of Emergency Services in Olympia, Washington. Boone gave interviews speaking on his behalf. She attended all his trials and visited him while he was on death row. She believed in him so much, she married him while on the stand testifying and being questioned by Bundy himself, which was upheld by the court. She would also smuggle drugs into the jail for Ted. Hear when I say she smuggled drugs in jail for Ted through her vagina. If that ain't love, I don't know what is. In October 1981, she gave birth to Rosa Bundy. She said the guards would look the other way while they would have sex in order for her to get pregnant. And that's some bullshit. After Ted confessed, she divorced him and never visited him again. Rosa never said goodbye to her father, which I don't particularly like because that baby did not ask to be here. After his confession, she divorced him, changed her name, and lived quietly until her death in 2018. No one knows the whereabouts of her daughter, Rosa, and particularly, I didn't find anything on her son because she had a son from a previous marriage.
That he did not commit the murders in Washington State, that he did not abduct Carol DeRange, that he did not murder or abduct any of the other women in Utah, that he did not kill Karen Campbell, that he did not commit the crimes at Cuyahoga in Lake City or on Dunwoody Street in Tallahassee.
My name's Ted Bundy.
I'm not an animal and I'm not crazy. I'm a split personality. I mean, I'm
Just a normal individual.
A person of this type chooses his victim for a reason. Possession, control, violence.
He decides upon young, attractive women being his victim.